Dear students, in last class we studied the Kelvin's law to find the economical size of conductor. Today we will discuss the limitations of Kelvin's law. Though Kelvin's law appears to be very simple, in actual practice an economical cross-section of the conductor determined by Kelvin's law may not suit because of the many factors. Then which are those factors? The first factor is interest and depreciation on the capital cost outlay cannot be determined so accurately. Second one, it is difficult to estimate the energy loss in the line without load curves, which are not available at the time of estimation. Load curves will be available to us only after connection of load to the system. So when system is not existing, we cannot connect load, and hence we will not be having any load curves with us. So without load curves, it becomes difficult to estimate the energy loss. Third one, it is also not easy to estimate the cost per unit of energy wasted in the line. It is so because the cost per unit of the energy wasted is not the same as that of the cost of generation per unit, since their cost per unit depends upon load factors which are different for the generator and the line. So for example, the cost of generation of energy is 2 rupees per unit. Then the cost of energy wasted in the feeder will not be equal to rupees 2 only, because the cost of energy generated depends on the load factor of generators, whereas the cost of energy wasted depends upon the load factors of the line. The load factors of generator and the line are different, they are not the same. Fourth one, Kelvin's law does not take into account various physical factors such as current density, mechanical strength, corona loss, etc. We have seen while deriving the condition for economic size of the conductor, we haven't considered any of these factors. The conductor size determined by Kelvin's law may not be practical one, because it may be so small that, remember, the size of the conductor will be small because of neglecting the current density, mechanical strength and corona loss, and because of that there may be too much voltage drop in the line, because we know that if cross-sectional area is less, resistance of the conductor will be more, and if resistance of the conductor becomes more, voltage drop will be more, because product I into R will be more. So with the decrease in cross-sectional area, voltage drop increases. It may cause high corona loss. We have already studied the various expressions for corona loss, and there we have seen corona losses are inversely proportional to the cross-sectional area of the conductor between which the corona loss occurs. So with the decrease in cross-sectional area of the conductor, corona loss increases. It may be too weak from mechanical considerations. If the cross-sectional area of the conductor becomes very less, in that case, the conductor becomes mechanically weak. The conductor may break down when there is wind blowing and the deposition of ice on them. Thus, it is advisable to go for larger conductor size irrespective to the economy. Now we will take up few problems based on Kelvin's law. Question number 1. The cost of a three-phase overhead transmission line having the cross-section area A centimeter square is rupees 500 plus 2000 A per kilometer. Calculate the most economical current density for the conductor if the rate of interest and depreciation is 12% per annum and the cost of energy wasted is 5 paise per kilowatt hour. The resistivity of the conductor may be taken as 1.7 micrometer. Take load factor of 10%. Dear students, to find the economical size of conductor, we have to equate the variable cost per annum to the cost of energy loss according to Kelvin's law. So I'll write here in solution. By Kelvin's law, the condition for economical size of conductor is variable cost per annum equal to cost of loss of energy per annum. So first we will calculate variable cost per annum. Variable cost per annum is equal to, in question we have been given with the cost of three-phase overhead transmission line as rupees 500 plus 2000 A. In this composite cost, 500 is fixed cost, whereas 2000 A is variable cost per kilometer, and on this we have to take depreciation of 12% to calculate variable cost per annum. So $2,000 into 12 by 100, that is equal to 240A. Next we have to calculate loss of energy per annum and its cost. Power loss in three-phase system is equal to 3 into I square into R, where I is current flowing through each line and R is resistance of each line per kilometer. Loss per annum in kilowatt hour is equal to 3 into I square R into number of hours in a year divided by 1000, because here the loss that we have calculated is in terms of watts. So 3 into I square R divided by 1000 into 8760 kilowatt hour, that is equal to 3 into 8760 divided by 1000 into I square. Resistivity is given as 1.7 into 10 raised to minus 6 ohm centimeter. Will convert centimeter into meter by multiplying by 10 raised to minus 2 divided by cross sectional area A, and A is given in centimeter square. To convert that into meter square, we will multiply A by 10 raised to minus 4. So now this bracket gives us resistance per meter. We need to calculate resistance per kilometer, so we will multiply it by now 1000, because in 1 kilometer there are 1000 meters. Simplifying, we get 4.4676 into I square by A kilowatt hour, and this value is per kilometer, and this value is for now we will calculate average line loss. that is loss per annum into load factor, that is 4.4676 into I square by A into 0.12. Simplifying, we get 0.536112 into I square by A kilowatt hour, and this value is also per kilometer. Next, we have to calculate cost of average annual line loss, that is average line loss per annum, which is 0.536112 into I square by A, and cost per unit energy is given as 5 paise per kilowatt hour. So 5 by 100 rupees we will get. On simplification, we get 0.0268 I square by A. Equating variable capital cost and cost of average annual loss we get 240A is equal to 0.0268 I square by A. Simplifying, I square by A square will be equal to 240 by 0.0268. Taking square root, we get I square by A square under root equal to under root 240 0.0268. That is I by A equal to 94.622 ampere per centimeter square. So this is the economic current density in the line conductors. Now we will take another problem. Question number 2. For a 3-phase 110 kV transmission system, the daily load cycle is given below. A. 30 megawatt for 5 hours at 0.8 power factor lagging. B. 15 megawatt for 10 hours at 0.9 power factor lagging. C. 8 megawatt for 9 hours at unity power factor. If the cost of the line is rupees 3000 plus 16,000 A per kilometer, where A is the cross-sectional area in centimeter square and depreciation on the capital cost is 10%, find the most economical area of cross-section of the conductor. The cost of energy is rupees 0.5 per kilowatt hour and The resistance of the conductor is 0.17 by A, where A is in centimeter square. Solution. By Kelvin's law, economical size of conductor is obtained by equating variable capital cost per annum to per annum cost of average line losses. Like in previous problem solution, variable capital cost per annum is equal to 16,000 A into depreciation on the capital cost, that is 10%. So 10 divided by 100. This becomes equal to 1600 A. Next we have to calculate average line losses in a year. For that we need to calculate current in the line during different hours of operation according to given information. Currents for different loads are A, for 30 megawatt at 0.8 power factor. Say current is I1. 30 into 10 raised to 6 divided by root 3 into 110 into 1000 into 0.8. That is equal to 196.8 ampere. B, for 15 megawatt at 0.9 power factor, I2 is equal to 15 into 10 raised to 6 divided by root 3 into 110 into 1000 into 0.9, that is equal to 87.5 amperes. For 8 megawatt at UPF, that is unity power factor, I3 equal to 8 into 10 raised to 6 divided by root 3 into 110 into 1000 into 1, that is equal to 41.99 amperes. Next we have to calculate energy loss for each of these loads, taking into account their duration in a day. Energy loss per day is I1 square into R into T1, I2 square into R into T2 plus I3 square into R into T3, where T1, T2 and T3 are duration of the three loads given in A, B and C. Since it is a three-phase system, we need to multiply these all losses by 3, because currents here are current flowing through one conductor of a three-phase system. So 196.8 square into resistance is given as 0.17 by A. Duration of the first load is 5 hours. We'll convert this into kilowatt hour. So for that we'll divide by 1000. Here the unit will be watt hours plus 87.5 square into 0.17 by A into duration of second load is 10 hours. Divide by 1000 to convert into kilowatt hour. Similarly, 41.99 square into 0.17 by A into 1 by 1000 into 3. Your unit is kilowatt hour. If we simplify, we get here duration is 9 hours. We have to include that. Simplifying, we get 8.58 3 into 10 raised to 5 into 0.17 divided by A. I am taking here 0.17 by A as common outside into 1 by 1000. Simplifying, we get 145.911 into 1 by A kilowatt hour. This is energy loss per day. Now we have to compute energy loss per annum. That is, we have to multiply this result by 365 days. Energy loss per annum is equal to 145.911 upon A into 365 kilowatt hour, that is equal to 53257.515 by A kilowatt hour. Next we will find cost of energy loss per annum. Cost of energy loss per annum that is 53257.515 divided by A into 0.5 rupees, because given is 50 paise per kilowatt hour. This will be in rupees. Simplifying, we get 26628.75 by A. Now equating variable capital cost per annum and cost of line loss per annum can write 1600 A equal to 26628.75 divided by A. Now we can write A square equal to 26628.75 divided by 1600. Taking square root, on both sides we get square root of 16.64 and A will be equal to 4.08 cm square. So this is the economical size of conductor. Dear students, I will stop the class here and continue in next class. Thank you.